Hey, good to be with you one more time, here for the journey through Psalms, and today I want us to look at Psalm 50. The mighty one, God the Lord, speaks and summons the earth from the rising of the sun to the place where it sets. From Zion, perfect in beauty, God shines forth. Our God comes and will not be silent. A fire devours before him, and around him a tempest rages. He summons the heavens above and the earth, that he may judge his people. Gather to me, my consecrated ones, who made a covenant with me by sacrifice. And the heavens proclaim his righteousness, for God himself is justice. God himself is justice, or other translations say he is a judge. It's interesting that our faith, following Jesus, we have the ability to find forgiveness for anything and everything that we've ever done. But nothing goes unnoticed. And it's interesting in the West sometimes that we have this sense of we would like our faith to be such that everyone is forgiven for everything, no matter what, no matter who they are. And I've heard it said that in countries that have been subject to brutal rule, who have had dictators, who have suffered from terrible corruption, where war crimes happen on a regular basis, that people there would struggle to follow a God where there was no justice. And our God is a God of justice. It's the only faith where you can find forgiveness for everything, but everything is held to account. And make no mistake, those who display utter evil through their lives and brutalize people their whole lives will be held to account. But here in this scripture, God is calling his own people, and he's saying, come on, people of Israel, or in our terms and in our day, the church, come to me because I want to see how we're doing. I want us to have a look at how you're behaving. And it becomes clear that he's concerned that the ways that he had put in place to seek forgiveness were becoming just a ritual exercise. He was the one who put in place that a sacrifice of an animal could purchase forgiveness in the Old Testament. We don't have that now. We don't need that now because Jesus himself has become a sacrifice for us. But what he's concerned about in this Old Testament scripture is that people are just going through the ritual, rock up at the temple with an animal sacrifice and walk away with no change of heart, no change of attitude, no change of behavior. And he's saying, this is wrong. This is wrong. Do I need a bull from your stall? Do I need goats from your pens? And he explains, I own the cattle on 1,000 hills. So this is an agricultural society at that time, where wealth was considered in terms of flocks or herds. So this would be the same in our day as saying, I own the output of 1,000 factories, or I have the money of 1,000 stock markets. He's saying, I don't need you to bring a gift. I don't need a payment. What I need is to see that your hearts are full of gratitude and that there is a change within you. And that's a check for us today. That's something for us to consider. Do we, when our churches, when our buildings are open, just go through the motions? We go on Sunday and we meet with some friends and we sing some nice songs, and then we go to the cafe and hang out in our social groups, but nothing really changes in terms of our attitudes? Or are we people who are caught by the splendor of what he's done, by the humbling fact that God himself came to earth and gave himself as a sacrifice for us? So we no longer need to bring a bull. or a goat or a dove. We don't need to come with gifts. We don't need to give him finance. But when we do we do that with a heart of gratitude? Are we stirred in our very soul for what he's done? So my encouragement for you this week is that you don't just go online church because you should. You don't just put a comment in the box because you'll be noticed. You don't just do another devotional because it's what you're supposed to do at the beginning of the day. But that your heart is stirred with gratefulness, with gratitude to the God who is over everything. Because as you do, that stirs God. That draws a response. I don't know about you, I have children, they're adults now, but when they were little children, I was going to look after them no matter what. I was going to feed them no matter what. But when they showed real gratitude, oh, that warmed my heart. And I was even more drawn to help them, to provide for them, to bring blessings to them. And we see that in verse 15 of this scripture. Call upon me. Let's go to verse 14. Sacrifice thank offerings to God. Fulfill your vows to the Most High. Call upon me in the day of trouble. I will deliver you and you will honor me. Sacrifice thank offerings. Call on me and I will deliver you. And then right at the end of the psalm, in verse 23, he who sacrifices thank offerings honors me, and he prepares the way so that I may show him the salvation of God. You may be facing some tough stuff at the moment. You may have some concerns, some fears, some anxiety. But the fact that you can even watch this devotional says you have things to be grateful for. That the sun rose again today. That you have breath in your lungs. That you have the technology to be able to watch this. Let's be those who are grateful, grateful, grateful to our God. Bring him thank offerings, because that warms his heart and he is ready to show you his salvation, his deliverance, his prosperity. So I bless you today with Psalm 50. Read the whole psalm and be stirred and be grateful to God so that he will watch over you with delight and not duty this week.